Hey guys, Chris here. I wanted to put together a short video on, um, you know, Google sniper sites in 2015. Do they still work? How much money can you make with them, and things like that. To start off with, do they work? Yeah, the short answer is yes. Absolutely. Not only from my own experience, but if you know what you're looking for, you see Google sniper sites on the front page of Google, all the time. Um, But what I really wanted to talk about is, how much money can you make with Google Sniper sites? If you sign up, you're going to see something like this, $1,500 to $2,500 a day. And I want to talk about, is that a realistic number that you can expect to make? The easiest way I think to do this is to kind of put together an Excel spreadsheet that kind of reflects, my personal experience, um, and the kind of results that you should see in the beginning, kind of not knowing about affiliate marketing and just starting to build these sites. So to explain what we have, you got, assuming you started at the very beginning of the year, you have every single week for the whole year. You have the number of sites that you're going to build that week, and then some of the expenses that go into each site. So, if you're buying just a domain name, or you're outsourcing for a writer, and maybe outsourcing for someone to build the entire site. Up here you just have the average that each site makes you, um, on average per month. Now, I say on average, Excel has a great way to randomize numbers. Uh, so if this kind of represents kind of one sale to two sales, it's going to give you, say that you make anywhere between 0 sales to maybe 4 sales, but it's kind of completely randomly generated. But over here you just have how much you spent that week, how much you started with, how much money did you have available, and the money you had left. And then you have your income made from your Google Sniper sites monthly, or excuse me, weekly, and then your daily breakdown. So I want to show you kind of how you get to these results that you see all the time. So let's assume that you are really bad at making these Google Sniper sites, but you're at least good enough that you can make one, maybe 2 sales in a month, which is a very realistic goal. So that would come out to about an average of $50, if you're advertising products on like ClickBank. But so you're making only 50 bucks a month per site, and this is kind of how you would start out. So maybe your first week you got to learn how do you make a Google Sniper site and everything that goes into that. So the first week you do absolutely nothing. The second week you actually get your first site up. You spend $50. You got to buy web hosting, and your first domain name. So you spend around 50 bucks. You're left with $100. And the next week you build another one, but now you only have to buy a domain name. And you kind of continue this trend, building kind of one site a week, compared to the way they talk in the manual where you can build a site every 2 hours. When I started out, that was very unrealistic. I mean, I'm assuming most of you will still have a job and a family, and I don't think you're going to be able to commit your entire day, to building these sites. So let's just say one site every week. But so you keep building one site every week, and then maybe you take a week off and you look into outsourcing, so you can do a little bit less work. You continue to build one site a week, but now you're hiring someone to do all the writing for you and to completely build the site. Maybe you're only just going out and buying the domain names and kind of maybe looking into the products. So you kind of do that for a while. You get a little more confident and you start doing 2 sites in a week. You're outsourcing most of the work now, so you can handle 2. That still wasn't enough, so you bump it up to 3 sites a week. And I kind of stop here at 3 because it's a very, you're looking at about 6 hours a week of work. The rest of the work is kind of outsourced. You can definitely handle more, but I kind of stop here for beginner level. So that's kind of the breakdown of the way the year's going to go. And over here you got kind of your profits coming in, and you're getting more and more sites out there. You kind of make more and more money, and it's a little randomized as far as how many sales each site's going to make. So you get to the end of the year, And it doesn't look anything like this, um, which is kind of like I said, what a beginner can expect. But it all depends on what kind of sites you're making. If you're building really good sites with really good information on those sites, and you're actually pre-selling the people that land on your site before they click on your links, then you can expect to kind of make more of the average, which is around $300 a month per site. But so this is how your first year went, and now you've got a lot of sites up though. So if we kind of go into 2016, for that year you built 114 sites. Those sites are going to start dying off, and some of them won't. Some of them will last for years. But now you're building 3 sites every week for this whole next year. And I kind of want to show you a glimpse of what that could look like. Even though everything's going wrong and you're not making hardly any sales, you're still have a $70,000 a year business. No, it doesn't look like these results, but it's still definitely a legitimate business. All right, so now quickly let's talk about if you actually get your $300 average per site, which like I said is definitely doable. And then here are some of the results you can see. It still starts out slow by the end of the year. Now look, your results are looking a lot like everybody talks about. If you continue into the next year, kind of the same thing. Looks a lot closer to what people are talking about. So you're looking at $500,000 a year. So yes, these are absolutely achievable results. Online marketing is a huge business. I mean, if you just look at some of the YouTubers out there, where YouTube gets all their money, as far as if you're someone that puts videos on YouTube, they're going to put an ad on your video, and you're kind of going to get paid for showing that ad. Some of the top YouTubers, I mean, they make over $1 million a year. Online marketing is just a huge business. And so 500,000 sounds like a lot, but it's really not. But I just wanted to, explain how do you get to those results, how long is it going to take to get to those results, and things like that. But that's pretty much it. Also take a second just to kind of tell you, a little bit about Google Sniper. This is kind of what the member, if you remember what it looks like. You have the course, SniperX training, cache machine, Rolodex support. The course is really simple, step by step, pretty easy to understand. SniperX is, my favorite part. It's where George kind of releases updates, or things that can kind of boost your sites, as well as webinars where he'll actually one-on-one walk through what's kind of going wrong with your sites. There's also case studies of other snipers who have problems with their sites, and send them in, and you actually get to follow along while they'll point out what's wrong with the site, how you can improve the site, things like that. The cache machine is just a quick way to make your investment that you spent on the product back as soon as possible. Rolodex is kind of just all the information in the course and maybe some new information, resources and things like that. Now their support is great compared to a lot of other products. If you have questions or need help, just submit a ticket and they will answer it very quickly. So if you do buy, if you are brand new and you decide to join Google Sniper, and you want to watch one of these sites get built from the ground up, they do offer a case study, and it's exactly that. It's from finding the product, getting the domain name, and then building the complete site, and watching it make money. So if that's something you're interested in, there's also an elite package that has a lot more, just more products like traffic ultimatum for building or getting more traffic to these sites and things like that. These are all optional. The Empire module is all about outsourcing if you don't know how to outsource. But those are all completely optional. But that's pretty much it. If you need more information on Google Sniper, I recommend checking out my site. I'll put a link in the description. It talks all about Google Sniper, and I'll try to put as many helpful articles on there and tips to make your sites better as well. So, but that's it for me. Thanks.